You've heard you need to take inventory in your restaurant, but why? Is it really worth the headache most restaurants see it as? The short answer is absolutely yes. It's not just calculating your cost of goods sold. It's about ordering and cash flow. Hey, the Restaurant Pro. This is David Scott Peters, restaurant expert, coach, and creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula. And today I'm going to talk about inventory management and how it's, well, a restaurant game changer. Let's start off and talk about inventory management, the misconceptions of it, if you will. First of all, most restaurant owners hear from their team that taking inventory is too monotonous, too time-consuming, and won't make a difference in the restaurant because your chef, your kitchen manager, your general manager, even your bar manager say, hey, they know what they need. They know what things cost. They've got it all in their head. So today, I'm going to blow this misconception out of the water and demonstrate to you why taking inventory and managing your inventory is critical to your success. Inventory is a fundamental tool you must use if you want to have restaurant success. Let me tell you about one of the worst managers I've ever worked for in my life, entire life. I hated the little Napoleon son of a, well, you get the picture. I didn't like him. He walks me into a walk-in cooler. Says, David, what do you see? What do I say? Food. He says, no money. You understand? Money. Oh, by the way, this proves something. You can learn something from anyone. You need to understand that your inventory has a direct connection to your cash flow because, again, what was on the shelves? Money. I can tell you right now that there are restaurants that have so much food on the shelves that they put themselves in a cash flow crunch to a point where last time I checked, I can't go to the power company, go thud with a case of steaks and say we're even, right? I need money to pay my bills. I can't pay it with food. Oh, by the way, if I have less on my shelves, so I've truly managed my inventory, I have less on my shelves, I have better health department scores because I don't have dirty walk-ins. Everything's clean, tidy, in its place. It's easier to prevent theft because I can walk in, I don't have massive amount of food and I can't or don't notice when some fillets are missing. Instead, I can clearly see everything's been prepped. It's all there and easy to identify. It's easier to find things. How often have you found yourself in the middle of a lunch rush and somebody says, hey, I go get the XYZ sauce that we need for this, our signature dish. They run into the cooler in the middle of the rush. I can't find it, chef. Can't find it, chef. Come back, you 86, your number one item. And then afterwards, chef goes back there and moves like 3 bags of shredded lettuce and some carrots. And there it is behind it. Somebody just put shit in front of it. And all of a sudden, pissed off, going, we had it. I knew we prepped it. But in the heat of the moment, nobody could find it because you have too much product on your shelves. Faster inventories. Like I want you to take inventory. I've got $2 million restaurants who take inventory in under an hour every Sunday when they set up their inventory programs properly and they don't have so much to count. By the way, more money in your back pocket or bank account is the ultimate goal. By taking the food off the shelves and putting it back into the bank, you have the ability to run your business, to pay yourself, to do what's necessary for the business. So taking inventory is a fantastic tool for accountability as well. For who? Your management team. By implementing a simple key item tracker where you're taking inventory of 5 to 15 items on a daily basis, we're going to prevent theft, reducing your cost of goods sold. By implementing a waste sheet, by tracking the inventory that you actually throw away, that is wasted, that is broken, that is burnt, that is, you name it, it was a mistake. You'll proactively stop bad operating practices because you're paying attention to how it's costing you money. You're going to teach your line employees the importance of controlling your inventory by tracking on a daily basis. You're going to teach them how it affects the bottom line and ultimately their potential raises. Taking inventory is also, really a great tool for accountability when you look at it this way. Your team knows inventory is important because they're looking at you track it. Your management team understands their budgetary KPIs, key performance indicators, what numbers they have to achieve, and that these systems, one of them being inventory, not only helps you calculate it, but it helps you control it. And when you have less on the shelves, you have more conscientious employees when it comes to your products. They're not wasting product because you have jars and jars and jars of mayonnaise. They are taking care of scraping every ounce of mayo out of that jar to make sure they have enough to stretch through your week because you don't have so much on the shelves. The key to a fast and accurate inventory, by the way, is setting your inventory up into what I call shelf-to-sheet inventory. Now, some people say it the other way, sheet to shelf. Don't really give a rat's ass. I call it shelf-to-sheet. It doesn't make it right or wrong, but you get the picture. The idea is your inventory on the shelves are set up in the same order as your sheets that you're counting. Not only in the same order, but the same unit size you want it counted. So again, by doing this, I have $2 million restaurants take inventory in under an hour. I'm telling you, when it's set up properly, you're not going to hear that it takes 4 hours. And why does it take 4 hours? Because most restaurants have a clipboard and they walk in, somebody who's counting, kitchen manager, chef, whatever, and search for the first item. And it's never in the right place. It's somewhere else. And 2 gallons of milk. And you do this for every item. And my gosh, you're not going to have an accurate or fast inventory. So it truly matters. Now, to get this done properly, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I'm going to tell you need software. You need food and beverage software, inventory management tool that does recipe cards and uploads your invoices and takes inventory accurately and helps you place orders and looks at ideal versus actual product usage. All these things that make a huge difference in your business. And I'm going to tell you right now, again, if you've been following me, you know I say that, hey, you can't run your restaurant without the software. Hey, is it really worth a few $100s every month? Yes, it is. If you're not making that 10 times back because you're controlling your food costs by taking inventory, you're not using it right. Now, I will tell you again, I have no kickback, no relationship other than I love these guys. I want you to check out Margin Edge. Go to marginedge.com/DSP for David Scott Peters, and I'll hook you up with Bruce. He's my guy. He's a 30+ year veteran who is just stellar. Learn more about the software and how it can change your life. I'm telling you right now, it's where I tell you to go. Now, your software needs to be able to scan invoices and upload them very quickly. Well, Margin Edge does that. Why? Because once it goes up, you can update all your prices. Your recipe cards are accurate, your inventory is accurate, your next order is accurate. But in the beginning, setting it up, you're setting up products. So you just take pictures of your invoice, send it up. They create the products, but then you've got to set up your products. What is the purchase unit, the storage unit, the usage unit? And you can have multiple ways you use that product so we know the cost, the way we're going to see it on the shelf. But in order to have accurate inventory, you must then do your batch recipes. These are components to dishes, soups, sauces, side dishes, dressings, desserts, anything you manufacture yourself. You buy product, put it in a pot, chop it up, do whatever makes something new. We've got to say, hey, that product has value on the shelves. That's the next thing to do. Now we set up shelf to sheet. We reorganize our shelves the way we've always wanted them. We label our shelves to make sure everything lives in the same spot every single time. And then we set up our inventory that the product appears on the shelf the same way on the sheet. That if in my walk-in freezer and McCain's potato wedges in the upper left-hand corner, position 1 on the Metro rack, and it's a case, I'm going to set up, it's going to be McCain's potato wedges. Maybe I get it from Cisco. It is case, and that's how I wanted inventory and the case price. Then I find those same McCain's potato wedges in the reach-in freezer in the second shelf, but 6th position. The same exact information, but the difference is it's now going to be priced and inventoried by the bag because there's 6 5-pound bags. And then on the line, I open up the drawer and there is loose McCain's potato wedges with yield, and it's in the 10th position, and I'm going to count it by the ounce, and it gets better. Next to it are 6-ounce portion bags of McCain's potato wedges, and I'm going to count them by the each, which was a batch recipe. You can't help but take an accurate, fast inventory. When you speed along, it's in the same order, and it's exactly the way you want it counted. I don't have $30,000 in shredded cheese show up on an inventory because somebody counted ounces and it was a case price. I don't have people trying to do math in their head. I didn't hire my cooks, my kitchen manager, my chef to do math on the fly. I hired them to ensure the process is working. Now, I'm also tell you to have 2 people take inventory every single time because 1, speed, and 2, I'm going to flip that second person so that all the cooks and maybe even some front of house people understand the importance of inventory, what the effect is when it's out of order. But it also keeps honest people honest. If your managers are working for a bonus, I've got to be honest because I've got somebody else. I don't have a partner in crime. I've got somebody else helping me all the time. Really hard for them to decide to become dishonest. I'm also going to tell you, because you're using software and you're using shelf to sheet as your system, you'll complete your inventory for the third time I'm going to tell you in under an hour. You're going to know your food costs and your pour costs within seconds of putting the last number in to the software. There's no waiting weeks for my accountant. There's no calculating spreadsheet, double checking. It's instantaneous. And the only way to know your cost of goods sold and to know what your food cost, your pour cost is, bottle beer, draft beer, wine, liquor separately, is that you must have accurate inventories. Period. It is not purchases divided sales. It's beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending gives me use. Use divided by sales is my food cost, is my pour cost by category. If you want to learn more about how to calculate your food cost, you're going to watch this video and I'm going to go into it in greater detail. Be sure to join me live every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time on YouTube, travel schedule permitting, where I'll get you pumped about the upcoming weekend, get you excited about crushing your goals and finding the motivation to be best you possible. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions live.